So I've been diving into Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and after about 7 hours in, and I have to say, this game is seriously blowing me away. For those who might not be familiar, Clair Obscur is a turn-based RPG developed by the French studio Sandfall Interactive. It blends classic JRPG mechanics with real-time elements like dodging and parrying, all set against a backdrop of Belle Epoque, France. The game's unique art style and atmospheric storytelling create a haunting yet beautiful experience. In this video, I'll be sharing my early impressions on what's working, what's surprising, and how the game feels so far. This isn't a full review, but rather a look at the first several hours of gameplay. Like I said, I'm only about 7 to 8 hours into the game. So yeah, let's dive in and explore what makes Clair Obscur Expedition 33 stand out in the RPG landscape. One of the first things that struck me about Clair Obscur is its breathtaking visual design. The game immerses you in a world inspired by Belle Epoque France, blending historical elegance with surreal fantasy elements. The environments are like living paintings. Every scene is meticulously crafted with a painterly aesthetic that draws you in. From the warped remnants of iconic Paris landmarks to the ethereal landscapes filled with haunting beauty. The art direction is consistently stunning. One standout moment for me was exploring the city of Lumina. The decaying architecture and vibrant, otherworldly elements creates a sense of wonder and melancholy that's hard to describe. It's a world that feels both familiar and fantastical, inviting you to lose yourself in its depths. The use of light and shadow definitely adds depth and emotion to every scene. It's not just about visual flair, it enhances the storytelling, making each location feel alive and significant. Overall, the game's visual design isn't just eye candy, it's a core component of the experience, enriching the narrative and gameplay in meaningful ways. Now let's talk about the combat, because this is one part of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 that's a bit of a mixed bag for me. The game uses a hybrid system that combines turn-based combat, which I'm personally not a huge fan of turn-based combat. I like some of it, I don't like some of it. I'm just kind of picky when it comes to turn-based. But it uses turn-based mixed with real-time dodging and parrying. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the real-time element here either. Don't get me wrong, the turn-based side is pretty solid for what it is. You've got your classic JRPG structure with strategic planning, elemental matchup, ability combos, all that. But when it's the enemy's turn, you're expected to dodge or parry incoming attacks in real time. The problem is, most of the time you're just sitting there staring at the animation, trying to figure out when to hit the button, and it gets frustrating pretty quickly. Some of the bigger attacks have decent visual cues, and those feel fair, but a lot of the normal enemy attacks don't give you much to work with. No clear tells, no consistent rhythm, so you end up just taking damage because you couldn't guess when to dodge right. So once you do see an attack more consistently and you see some of these enemies over and over, you do kind of learn the patterns of these attacks, so it gets better the longer you play. But the first time you run across an enemy, it is definitely rough. And it kind of kills the flow for me at times. I had a few encounters where I knew exactly what I wanted to do on my turn, but then had to awkwardly fumble through dodging animations just to get back to playing the part I actually enjoyed. It's not game breaking or anything, but it does pull me out of the experience a little bit at times. That said, I can see how some players might like the added tension. It does make battles feel more active than traditional turn-based RPGs. It just didn't quite click for me. Now let's dive into the Lumina and Pictos system, which are central to character progression in Clair Obscur. Initially, I found the Lumina system a bit perplexing, but after some hands-on experience, it revealed itself to be a robust and rewarding mechanic. Pictos are equipable items that provide passive stat boosts and unique abilities. Each character can equip up to 3 Pictos, enhancing attributes like health, attack, power, and defense. What's intriguing is that after participating in 4 battles with a specific Picto equipped, the associated ability becomes a Lumina, which can then be assigned to any character using Lumina points. Lumina abilities are passive boosts that can significantly impact combat. They range from increasing critical hit chances to restoring action points upon successful dodges. Each Lumina has a point cost, and characters have a limited pool of Lumina points, which can be increased by leveling up or using items like the color of Lumina. once I grasped how to synergize Pictos and Luminas, the strategic depth of the system became apparent. For instance, equipping a Lumina that restores action points on a perfect dodge combined with a Picto that boosts dodge efficiency allowed me to maintain a steady flow of powerful attacks during battle. In summary, while the Lumina and Pictos system might seem intricate at first, they offer a rich layer of customization and strategy that enhances the overall gameplay experience. So, before diving into the story, I want to touch on progression and customization systems, which add a satisfying layer of depth to the gameplay. As you level up, each character earns 3 attribute points and 1 skill point. The attribute points can be allocated to 5 primary stats, which are might, vitality, agility, defense, and luck. These influence various aspects like health, attack power, defense, agility, and critical hit chance. For instance, Gustave benefits from boosting luck due to his multi-hit attacks, while Maelle excels with increased agility and luck to exploit elemental weaknesses. Skill points unlock new abilities unique to each character. For example, Maelle can switch between different stances: defensive, offensive, and virtuose, each altering her combat style and bonuses. On the cosmetic side, the game offers a variety of outfits for each character. These are purely aesthetic and can be unlocked through various means such as defeating specific enemies, completing quests, or purchasing from merchants. It's a fun way to personalize your team without affecting gameplay. Overall, the progression system in Clair Obscur provide meaningful choices that enhance both the strategic and personal aspect of the game. Now, let's delve into the story and characters of Clair Obscur, which have been a standout aspect of my experience so far. The game's premise is both haunting and compelling. Each year, a mysterious figure known as the Paintress awakens and paints a number on a monolith. Everyone of that age vanishes instantly, turning to smoke. This annual event, called the Gommage, has been occurring for 70 years, with the elimination age decreasing each year. Now it's down to 33, and our protagonists are part of Expedition 33, a desperate mission to end this cycle of death. The narrative unfolds through environmental storytelling and subtle dialogue, encouraging players to piece together the lore themselves. This approach enhances immersion and keeps the mystery intact. Speaking of characters, Gustave, voiced by Charlie Cox, is the expedition leader. He's portrayed as a resourceful engineer determined to protect his city of Lumiere. Cox brings a grounded and earnest quality to Gustave, making him relatable and compelling. Then there's Maelle, voiced by Jennifer English. At just 16, she joins the expedition not to save Lumiere, but to escape it. Jennifer English captures Maelle's youthful defiance and vulnerability, adding depth to her character. The voice acting across the board is top-notch. Andy Serkis lends his voice to Renoir, and characters shrouded in mystery and complexity. Serkis's performance adds gravity and emotional weight to the role. Overall, the combination of unique narrative structure, rich world building, and exceptional voice performance makes the story and character of Clair Obscur very, very engaging. Alright, let's talk about the music, because honestly, Clair Obscur has one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a long time. Like, no joke, it's probably my favorite soundtrack since Baldur's Gate 3. The game's score, composed by Lorien Testard, perfectly matches the tone of the world. There's this haunting orchestrion that follows you as you explore, filled with moody strings, soft piano, and ambient textures that really pull you into the setting. It's not just background noise, it feels like part of the storytelling. What really stands out is how dynamic the music is. It shifts seamlessly with the mood, calm and eerie during exploration, then swelling with intensity during boss fights or big story moments. It adds so much emotional weight, especially in the heavier scenes. If you're someone who enjoys video game music outside of gameplay, I definitely recommend checking out the full soundtrack. It's on Spotify and Steam, and absolutely worth a listen on its own. I've personally already added it to my Spotify playlist, so yeah, it's definitely a good one. Go check it out. Now, let's talk about the exploration and side content in Clair Obscur. The game's structure is a blend of linear and open-world elements. The main story levels are mostly linear, guiding you through beautifully crafted environments with a clear narrative path. However, between these main levels, there is an overworld map known as the Continent that offers a more open exploration experience. In the continent, you can explore various regions, discover hidden areas, and encounter optional challenges. There are side paths and optional bosses that provide additional depth to the gameplay. For instance, in the Spring Meadows area, you can find optional bosses like the Chromatic Lancelier and Jar, which are not required for the main story, but offer rewarding battles and loot. While I haven't come across traditional side quests yet, there are collectible base activities that serve a similar purpose. For example, during the prologue, you can collect festival tokens by completing small tasks, which you can then exchange for rewards. The game also features a fast travel system through expedition flags, which act as a checkpoint and allow you to quickly move between discovered locations. This makes backtracking and exploration more convenient, especially when you're trying to find all the collectibles or revisit previous areas. Overall, the exploration in Clair Obscur strikes a balance between guided storytelling and open-ended discovery, providing a satisfying experience for players who enjoy both linear narratives and optional content. Honestly, the biggest surprise with Clair Obscur is just how good it is. It was on my radar, sure. I saw a few trailers, but nothing I saw beforehand really pulled me in. But I decided to give it a shot because it was on Game Pass, so easy enough to play. And I was immediately surprised by how much the story grabbed me. The opening pulls you in fast. This is one of the strongest openers I've seen in a game probably ever. The world is mysterious and weird in all the right ways, and the atmosphere is top-notch. It's dark, stylish, and immersive. It sets the tone really well and just keeps you curious about what's coming next. And I'm not usually a big fan of turn-based combat, it's not my preferred style, but I've actually been enjoying it here. The pacing feels good, and there's enough going on with the Lumina system and enemy design to keep things interesting without feeling overwhelming. Playing on PC, performance has been really solid. I've had a few, hitches here and there, at the beginning of the cutscenes, but it generally smooths out after like a few seconds. Load times are quick, everything runs smooth, and I haven't hit any bugs or technical issues yet, which is always a plus, especially with the new release. Overall, this game just came out of nowhere and really over-delivered. Story, style, gameplay, everything. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it this much, but I am definitely glad I decided to try it out. So yeah, after 7 hours, Clair Obscur is seriously impressing me. If the game keeps this level of quality all the way through, it could absolutely be a Game of the Year contender, no question. I went in not expecting much beyond some cool visuals, and I've come out genuinely invested in the story, enjoying the combat more than I thought I would, and just overall hooked on the vibe and presentation. If you're into JRPGs, you're probably going to love this one. It's got a lot of what fans of games like Final Fantasy or Persona look for: deep lore, character-driven storytelling, and layered combat. But I also think this is a great one for people who usually don't lean into turn-based games. Like I said earlier, I'm not a huge fan of that style usually, and I'm still having a great time with the game. And if you just like artistic, atmospheric games that go all in on their world building, this is one of the strongest I've seen in a while. I'm definitely going to keep playing, and I'll probably have more content coming for it. Maybe some boss breakdowns, tips for the Lumina system, maybe a full review once I've rolled credits, or a deeper look at the endgame if that opens up. Let me know down in the comments if you're playing this as well, or if you're on the fence and have some questions. I'll try to answer what I can, and if you enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button, definitely throw a sub this way, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.